So I'm really excited about today. I'm speaking tonight at DefCon 416. So I'm going to take you along the journey of me speaking at DefCon tonight, as well as hopefully, cross my fingers, I'll be able to record the whole talk and include it in the video. So let's hack at it. So behind me, you can see I'm editing the DefCon 416 video that I did tonight. I actually recorded my talk. It was a great event. I had a lot of fun. I'm going to actually put this at the end of this video, so if you want to watch the full talk, you can. But that's what I was up to today. I had a great time at DefCon 416. It was an interesting, fun talk to do. I had a lot of fun. And I want to thank Dolv, D-O-L-E-V, from DefCon, and Nick as well for supporting the group DefCon 416 and for inviting me to speak. I had a great time and I loved it. So don't forget, let's put it over here. Software is hackable, being connected is vulnerable. I'll see you next video. Oh, don't forget, if you want to watch the actual talk, you can watch after this.
How one can get into IT security in general. And that's what Brandon Krieger has been doing for the last 2 years. 3 years? Cool. 2 years. He's going to share the problems, the frustrations, challenges, all the fun stuff.
Guys, give us a second. We'll get it quickly set up. So, how's everyone tonight? Woo! Good. How many people are new to cybersecurity? Hands high. Okay, good. So we're talking the same language.
How many can fix a projector?
I can tell you horror stories when you saw the Ontario government. You walk into like the deputy minister's office and they're like, it doesn't work. You plug in the power, like, oh, yeah, that's it. IT 10T error.
Then you gotta hide it.
Yep. There's a good chance we used the wrong cable. Both were HDMI. One of them was just
Was there wrong cable?
We don't know. I still have to check. Okay.
Just give us a second. Good to go? Perfect.
Alrighty.
My name is Brandon Krieger. I've been actually an IT consultant since 2001. I opened up a business in 2004, a marketing company. I switched from IT because I was just not happy working in the Ontario government. And through the years, I started to kind of develop some skills with digital marketing, social media. And I found about 2.5 years ago that a lot of my clients were getting hacked. So I was like, what's going on? Their Facebook account, their social media, Twitter, their websites were getting hacked. So I was like, okay, something's going on. I need to start switching into cybersecurity. Just kind of find out what's going on. As you guys all know, it's like Pandora's box. You start opening up, oh, it's just that little thing. And they're like, oh, but they get it this way, and that way, and this way. And you're like, okay, I got to take all websites down. No one should ever have a website ever again. Right? You're looking at like cross-site scripting, the forms they get through, the database in the back end, WordPress getting compromised. It's all these crazy things that you're going through going, oh my God, does this work? No? Okay. So, let's go through here. So we jump too far ahead. So as I was going through kind of some research on becoming a cybersecurity person, I first looked at career stability. And And what you guys can see here is Cisco puts the global figure to, let's see, I'll read it off here. Puts this global figure at 1 million cybersecurity jobs opening. Demand is expected to rise to 6 million globally by 2019, with a projected shortfall of 1.5 million, says Michael Brown, CEO at Symantec, the world's largest security software vendor. And then the salary was anywhere between 44,000 and just over 99,000, just north of it. So I was like, okay, this is a great career to get into. I'm like, okay, yeah, there's job security because look at the market. How many people know cybersecurity? And you start talking to recruiters, start talking to HR people. I'm like, oh my God, we're in so much demand. We're in so much demand. We need cybersecurity people. Do you know any? And I'm like, well, I'm training. I'm going to do cybersecurity. They're like, no, you need certain things. So they start sending like the laundry list of what you need. And I found through this, as we all know, like cybersecurity, even IT, is you have to have a love for technology. You have to have a love to be able to, problem solve, troubleshoot, and hack. Now, when I first started to go into like hacking, right, learning about what hacking was all about, I was using the term all wrong. Right? I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break into this and I do that and penetration testing, and like, no, that's cracking. Hacking is actually understanding something inside and out, understanding in depth. I'm like, oh, okay. So I wasn't trying to learn how to hack, I was trying to learn how to crack things. I'm like, okay, that makes total sense. So I go, then what about like penetration testing? I'm like, well, yeah, it's just understanding the system, blue team, red team, inside and out, how it's set up, how it's configured, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So started doing a lot of research and learning on the different areas of cybersecurity. And see if this is coming up. And then what you'll see is, some of the areas that we can all go into: network security, physical wireless, cloud security, application software, Internet of Things, wireless, hosting security, security management, governance policy, a lot of paperwork, physical security, mobile security, just so much more. Like anything you can really think about when it comes to digital software application, there's going to be security around it. And I was talking to a gentleman earlier today. He was talking about his smart home. He's like, oh yeah, I got all these smart devices and I can do all this thing, I connect. And we go, you get compromised. No. I go on Google, look up your product and see how many times. He's like, oh my God, what do? I go get a padlock and a dog and you'll be secure. And he's like, yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta take everything down because they can hack it this way and this way. I'm like, oh my God, it was scary to see like all the things that we start to look at in IT security that can be compromised. I mean, how many people here follow the news and see all the breaches that are going on constantly? So the path to IT security, it's not a straight path. I started asking people, as I started to ask, instructors, colleges, universities, just kind of, okay, like how do I become an IT security person? How do I become in cybersecurity? Well, you can do this, you can do that, you go get a university degree in, computer science. And so that's great, that's programming. Then how do I get into security? Well, then what happens is you have to go do further education, right? Certification, courses and all that. I'm like, okay, but then how does that get me into a job? Right? Because then I look at all these job specs, and they're saying, okay, by the way, you need 5-year experience, you need a computer science degree, and just a laundry list of stuff. And then when you talk to HR people, like, I don't know, I just looked this up, and that's what was on the specs that the manager gave us that we need to put out. So that question I always had was, what do I need? Do I need university? Do I need college? Do I need certifications? So let me ask you here, how many people here have a computer science degree? Perfect. Yeah. How many people have like a college diploma? Right? Okay, and how many people just have certifications? So you kind of see the diversity, right? When it comes to cybersecurity, from what I was finding, it comes down to experience. Get your knowledge, get your education, however you can get it, and then it comes down to that golden experience. How do you get that? Right? And that was the catch-22, because every time I heard like a university student come up and say, yeah, I have a degree in computer science, I can't get a job. They're not hiring me. Because each time I go for the interviews, they go, well, how much experience do you have? And he's like, well, I have none, I just graduated. And they're like, okay, well, go and get some experience, come back, and then we'll go through the interview process. We really like you as a candidate, but you don't have enough experience for cybersecurity. You might be able to work at the help desk, might be able to work at sentinel support. When it comes to our cybersecurity department, we're looking for people with more experience. So the catch-22 thing was I was finding was, how do you get that experience? One of the solutions I found was, do you work for a company or do you work for yourself? And a lot of people I'm talking to right now is, they're just asking, okay, Brandon, what do I do? How do I get this experience? I said, look, you know what? Why don't you volunteer? Why don't you work for other companies, small companies, that can't afford this full cybersecurity solution, that might need to break a password policy, backup policy, might have to have backup systems. Start doing these small projects and get them onto your resume saying, hey, look, I've done this. I've set up firewalls. I set up a unified threat management system. I help secure your email system. Like all these things that you can do for smaller companies, you just can't afford to have someone do it. Or might have an IT person, but he can't do both. Right? And that's fair, because I know with some of the IT people I've talked to, they're like, I'm supporting the hardware, I'm supporting the software, I'm doing all the backups. I just don't have time to do security, because by the time I'm back up and doing all this the support, now they want me to learn security. They're like, no, I have time. I try to secure as best as I can. Well, you come and say, look, I'll help you. I'll be your support. I'll be your second level, like in the sense of I'll be your assistant. I'll help you. You let me know what you need, and I'll do it. And what happens, you start to get that global experience. So that's what I've been finding. It's not an easy career. Like, how many people here actually work in cybersecurity or IT security right now? Okay, and how easy is it? Low, medium, high? Working in cybersecurity. You find it easy? No stress? Manager's not yelling at you, the things settle down? Oh,
no, my manager is the best.
He's the best? Oh, yeah. I love your manager's shirt. Perfect.
I love him.
But we know it's stressful from the top down, right? Because they have their budgets, they have requirements, they have their management saying what they need. And then it comes down to you. Now, do you secure or do you not? Do you implement, do you not? I mean, we have requirements as security people going, we need to implement this as soon as possible. But then we'll get change management or patch management. Or we have to test the systems, we have to go into change management, we have to do all that. It could take 2 to 3 weeks. I was reading an article about certain hackers were actually compromising companies because of the patch management policy. Because they knew if there was a compromise and there was a patch that was put out, they would go through the white paper, they would reverse engineer it, and go and hack companies that they knew it was going to be 2 to 3 weeks or a month for them to roll the patch. And they're like, yeah, well, why do we have to hack when the companies are telling us what's the vulnerabilities? Right? We can exploit those right away and go right in. So I was like, okay, how do we get around this? And that's something for me, when I was kind of doing the research and started learning to talk to people, to understand there's the actual technical aspect, and there's the policies and procedures and the personal aspect that we have to deal with being IT security people. Because you sit there and you have to balance both wheels. You can't just sit there and go, security, security, security. You have to go, okay, what's the budget? What can we work with? And just kind of go with what the managers want and do your best with security. Long hours. Like, how many people here at cybersecurity, IT security work long hours? Right? So what I was told was that, oh, you want a 37.5 hour a week job? Don't go into cybersecurity. Because what happens is you work your job and then you go home and you work. You study for certifications, keeping up, reading white papers, keeping up the knowledge, because you have to keep up what's going on with the industry. If you don't, you fall behind. So it's funny when people say, oh, I'll just go get a certification, I'll jump into I'll get CompTIA Security Plus, and I'll jump into cybersecurity. Like, okay, that's just an introduction to give kind of a base, but what are you working on next? What's next? People are like, oh, what do you mean next? I thought I was doing cybersecurity. No. Right? This is where I talk about sweat equity. One of the things I do is I do like a DailyCyber video log. And through that, I talk about the challenges that I'm hearing different cybersecurity people are going through. And the sweat equity they have to put in. Right? Long hours, the studying, the labs. Some of them have to set up their own VMwares and their test labs to test everything because maybe the company doesn't do it. Right? So they have to do all the sweat equity to make sure that they're marketable. And with new people like myself, you have to think outside the box. How can you get companies to approach you? Right? What's the best way for it to switch it that you're not chasing them, but they're chasing you? Right? Is to establish your professionalism, show that you can do it. Right? Like I said before, go out, do small projects, kind of build up from there. But on top of that, start doing articles, videos, talking about things in your expertise and what you're learning. Right? And then just help them understand how much you really do know. And this is the one I talk about, is think outside the box. A lot of people kind of go through, I got to go to high school, I got to go to university, then I get a job. And then when you get out of university, they kind of go, I'm stuck, now what do I do? Right? You got to think outside the box. How can you develop your expertise to show these companies that you're marketable, that they're going to want to hire you? So some of the challenges that I was finding, like I talk about stressful career, and a couple of the IT security people that I've talked to talk about how stressful it is because they want to implement something, they want to push it through, but man is stopping them. Like, oh, I know we're going to get breached, I know something's going to happen if they don't implement this. And the stress of it, and then when they do get breached, what happens is now they go, why did you implement that? It's your fault. Like, I told you, here's the email I sent out. Right? So I heard that. I heard the work-life balance. Now, the guys that work, how do you work in IT security? How's your work-life balance right now?
It's called work-work balance.
Work balance? Good, good. Right? Work, sleep, work more?
I mean, sleep is optional.
Optional? do you sleep at your desk? Is that
Exactly.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I have this image on my desk when I was working in the Ontario government. There was a guy with toothpicks with his eyes open with a coffee and intravenous, and he was just sitting there and he was just working away and coding, right? So it was kind of IT mentality that we just keep working, you know? If it's not work, it's education. Now, one thing I put down here is you gotta think like a criminal for cybersecurity, but act like a saint. So a lot of us have to think in cybersecurity is how are we gonna break into this? How can we compromise it? How can we socially engineer this person to get them to give our password to get in there? But then we can't. Then what happens? We have to say, "Well, we're not going to do it." Right? We have to make sure that we're not going to compromise it. But we know how to do it. And a lot of people, like I've talked to, says it's a fine line. Like, because you kind of know, oh, if I just compromise this server, I can do that. I can get right in. What's $1 here and there that they send me to my bank account? I can do that. They won't catch me. Then you have to go. Okay, hold on. I want to be ethical. I don't want to go on that side. So that's why you have to think like a saint. Like you have to act like a saint. And it's funny because I talk to so many cybersecurity people all across the world, and they're saying, yeah, it just gets to the point where you learn, you keep learning these breaches, you learn how vulnerable the systems are, and you're sitting there going, this is so easy, why don't I just do that? Right? Why do I go through this struggle? And you're like, okay, but if you do that, you go to jail. Right? You can get arrested. And they're like, okay, you know what? That is the downside of it. That is the downside of doing this. I said, the ethical thing is you have to sleep at night. So something I believe in, and this is something that's why I put this in here, is you have to think like a criminal, how you're going to breach the system, how you're going to breach companies, servers, email servers, websites, applications, people. We have to act like a saint, so what happens is you have to look after them. That's the end of the goal for me is always look at how I'm going to protect people. Yeah, I'm going to learn all this great stuff, but how I'm going to protect people. Now, a few things I wish were different. Financial support. Now, as I start to ask different aides, and just was trying to do some research, like for unemployment, things like that, just different areas, just seeing what was out there for cybersecurity, because there's such a shortage, as we saw. I was asking government support programs, like, what do you guys have that will support people with cybersecurity? It's such a shortage. Well, nothing. We don't support cybersecurity. If you want to go into IT, right, desktop support, we have that, but when it comes to cybersecurity, no, we don't support that. So it's okay. Let me ask universities, do they have anything? No. So a lot of this is not funded. So this is kind of out of our own pockets, or if we work for companies, they have their budgets for education. So something to think about, and this is something that I wish was different. Companies would invest into people that's starting out. So all these new guys that are starting out cybersecurity, that they actually take the time and invest in us. Because they know, like a lot of the guys are doing the sweat equity, are pushing through. They would say, okay, I'm going to bring you in, we'll maybe get you in a lower salary, but we're going to educate you up to help support our team and fill that deficit. The recruiters and human resources. How many people here are recruiters? No one? Okay, good. So I can down on that. So what happens is I keep calling recruiters, and I found it's like a unicorn to find the good recruiter that will call you back, right? Not only just support you, but just will call you back. So I've been calling recruiters from Agilon to Procom and all these different companies. They're going, okay, so do you also got the cybersecurity positions? No. Okay, will you have them in the future? Maybe. We'll give you a call. Okay, but I didn't give you my number. I didn't give you any contact. No, we'll call you. We'll contact you. Just fill the form online. So I fill all these forms, and if you see them online for Agilon and Procom, no, don't hear back. Follow up with them. And I found one of the recruiters that's part of the DefCon 416 group, and she was great. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What's her name? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. One of the recruiters and part of the group, we'll find out, posted, she's actually really good at following up. And like I said, she's like the unicorn. She's the unicorn of all recruiters. And I've talked to roughly about 40 different recruiters from different companies. trying to find out, okay, look, just tell me what the market is, tell me what I need to do, what certifications are the companies looking for, what experience. Yeah, you don't have to worry, you don't have enough. But what do they need? What are they asking for? What's the direction I need to go? Right, so, human resource people and especially recruiters, I wish they would, support people more getting this field, because again, it's just such a shortage, and as we know, there's so many breaches going on. Now, I found some free educational resources, right, to help to bridge the gap, but I wish there was more for IT security to kind of bridge the gap between what employers want and what's the education. And there's certifications, there's programming courses, there's code academy, there's all different ones. There's Ball Hub and different ways we can do pen testing and download those. But again, how do you get that and you bridge that into companies, right? Where you say, hey, I've done this, is that good for your employment, what you're looking for? So what I would like to see in the industry is that bridge the gap. They say, here's an IT security course, and this course will get you to the point where what companies are looking for. And that's what I'm really looking for right now. I'm talking to a company or a school out in Australia that's actually starting to do that. What I wish was different in my journey. So, how many people here know code? Python? It's kind of quiet, it's lower down here. Good. I mean, I'm learning Python right now, and I wish, when I was younger, I actually learned code. Because I was took some coding courses when I was younger, but knowing, all the applications, everything, our hardware, laptops, are all running on code, and that's what people are starting to pen test and start to compromise. I wish I would have learned that earlier. Working towards a degree. One thing I found for myself is a lot of times when you're going and asking universities, can you take the computer science, you can take the degree. So what's your courses, what's your grades in high school? I actually took general level courses when I was in high school because I wasn't going to go into anything specific in university. I was going to go to college and just start to work. Well, they're like, oh, by the way, now you have to go back and redo those high school credits. So for me, I was like, you know what? If I would have known earlier, I would have taken the advanced level courses and I would have paid a little more attention in school. I know for me, when it came to computers, I'd rather be doing something versus sitting in the classroom. So that's why I kind of got caught up when I was in high school. How to find a good mentor to speed up the process. One thing I'm actually working on right now is working with some great people from DefCon, the DefCon group, as well as different other communities to bridge the gap. So when I have questions or I want to learn faster, they're experts in their field, in their area, so it's bridging the gap versus me trying to read white papers and books and trying to learn and troubleshoot and try to figure it out on my own, watch YouTube videos. So finding a good mentor that you can learn from that is willing to support you. Like how many people here have a mentor that they work with? Okay, put your hands up real high. 1, 2, 4. I recommend if you're trying to bridge the gap and learn faster, try to get a group together and try to find people that can mentor each other. Because as we're going to know in cybersecurity, there's different areas that you're not going to know about. Some people are going to know more and be an expert in Internet of Things. And someone's going to be an expert on Exchange. Someone's going to be an expert in service support, network. So try to get that community that you work with that you can support each other. Because you're just going to learn so much faster, as well as you're going to be able to have a team that you can work with if you're going to start working cybersecurity in that field that you guys can play off each other. Now, what resources to learn from and trust? So, has anyone seen my YouTube videos? So, what you'll find is I actually learned, I was working for CBT Nuggets for a while, and I actually took some of their courses to try to pass some of their exams. I was doing the CompTIA Security Plus exam, and the information they provided was not good. I did the test once, I'm like, what? That was through the course, they didn't talk about it. So I actually grabbed a book, I think it was Get Ready, Daryl Gibson was the author's name. Get Ready, Pass the Exam. It was a CompTIA SY 401 book. It provided me so much great information, but it made me realize that some good resources and some resources that are not so good. Right? So we have to find resources that's going to cut down our learning time because, again, as we're learning with cybersecurity, you have to learn so much. There's so much to cover. Right? And you get stuck in one area, it's going to spend a lot of your time. So having resources that you can trust, having people that you can trust in your community, that you can ask them what resources they use for learning Python, learning Linux, learning pen testing, compromising Wi-Fi, will actually help you in your learning and help you develop. And that's what's important to me is to find resources that I can trust And I know for me, like Safari Books Online is like a huge resource that I use right now for studying. Who do you have in your inner IT circle? That was, again, when we're talking about having the resources. It's very important to have these people in your life because, again, you talk like minded. I know sometimes when I'm talking to my fiancée in the background, it's like talking Chinese to her. No offense to Chinese people, but she's English. And talking, she's like, uh-huh. And you can see the look on her face like, did you just say to me? Did you swear at me? I'm like, no. She's like, what's a DOS? What? I'm like, okay, good, look this up. We'll talk about it later. And it's funny, but sometimes we talk a different language that we need to be around the same people so we can like mind and develop together. So having good people around your inner circle for IT security. And then again, this is another thing that I talk to people about, is when you have these people in your circle, you can work with them on projects. So I know a lot of people that talk to me say, oh, do you know someone that does that? And I can refer them. I refer them out to people that do certain areas of IT security. So what I came up with some resources that I've been using. First, career stability and the money that I quoted earlier. That came from those two resources. And then different communities is DC416, which you guys are all part of. Peerless. How many people are at peerless.com? 1, 2, 3. Only 4 members? Check out that community. It's actually a really good community when they talk a lot about different things that go on with cybersecurity, education, just the whole environment of security. So some good discussions that go on there. Different types of educations, like I talked about Safari Books Online. Books that I'm currently reading is Pen Testing by Georgia Weidman, Python Programming, and then there's different resources like Pen Testing Lab, Global Knowledge is not a bad one, Open Learning, Security Tube, which other ones there? Cubo.com, and this, I think this will be provided later. Go ahead. Will this be provided later?
Yeah.
So you guys will get all these resources, and there's some hacking courses, Udemy, Pluralsight, Security Weekly, and some podcasts that I listen to now. If you guys want to add to this, but I listen to Security Weekly, DefenseSecurity.org, and some good.
Pluralsight?
I spell it wrong?
Yeah, Pluralsight. Just now. Pluralsight.
I spell it wrong? Okay, yeah, we'll get that fixed. So perfect. So that's it.
You talked about education. There's a couple of colleges in the GTA, shared the set of computers as well. And full disclosure, I teach. They actually offered a degree program co-ops.
Oh, nice. Okay.
2 co-ops there.
What is it? Are you taking it? Okay, good.
And students, they get hired.
And that was one of the recruiters I talked to about the education portion of high school. But no, like, yeah, there's some ones out there. If you have a high school meet the requirements, they're great.
They're not arguments. They're colleges. There's a lot more in here.
Perfect. Sure, question?
Yeah, you mentioned security nuggets and it not being like sufficient for
Certification? Yeah. Yeah, so when I went, I was actually a learning content engineer, so it means I review all their courses, like the courses will come out, and we review them for the quality, for any errors, anything along that line. So one of the things that we were told to do is take the course and go get the certification, see if you can pass it. And what I was finding through the community as well as for myself, they were using a lot more different resources. So what happened was they weren't just using the course that CPTS thought, you just use the course and we'll pass. They were actually using different resources, different books, to make sure that they bridged the gap of what the actual CPTS wasn't providing. So that's what I was finding through CPT now, that it just wasn't providing the full spectrum. And some of the courses were outdated. They weren't just keeping them up to date with the changes in the actual, like I know with CompTIA, they're always changing their pool of questions, so they just weren't keeping up with it. So, I mean, it's not a bad program if you're, for example, if you're trying to learn something to do at work. Like they're very good at Cisco routing, so if you're trying to learn Cisco routing, how to set it up and go that way. But if you're trying to write the certifications, you might need alternative education or some different resources. I'm good?
Two
comments, one towards the CBT Nuggets. CBT Nuggets was really good, but as you mentioned, they started getting updated. And they weren't updating, and they were specifically targeting towards the questions of the exams rather than the mindset and what you should really learn in order to be able to pass any type of exam. The other comment when you made about recruiters, most of the recruiters that do specialize in IT security are not, they're not the ones at the big recruiting companies. And they will search and find you and hound you if they think you've got the skill sets.
Right. Oh, for sure. And that's what I say. Like, I went through a laundry list. I had a recruiter that I used to work with, the Procom, and he was the VP. So he gave me a list of all the recruiting companies that are out right now, and that's who I was calling. So I went through probably a list of about 30 companies.
There's the other thing that though, ask around at places like DC416 and some of the other user groups, and specifically look at who the sponsors are and get in touch with the sponsors. You'd be surprised that if you pick up the phone, for those of you interested, you pick up the phone, you contact some of these sponsors, they'll tell you exactly what you need to get your foot in the door there.
We have time for one more question.
Sure. One more.
I was just going to add on, I'm really glad you brought up podcasts. They've been a great source of learning for me and for a lot of people who are new into the industry. I'd like to recommend, from personal experience and contact, Breaking Down Security with Brian Brake. They do a really good technical dive into things. And Risky Business. A lot of people listen to it. It's biting, but it's very, very factual.
Okay, perfect. So, sorry, what was the one again?
Breaking Down Security.
Breaking Down Security. Is everyone writing that down? I see people.
Yeah, really good technical stuff there. They bring people on. They've covered they covered the guys who did the DefCon SECTF recently, but also they'll go right into the depths of PowerShell or machine learning.
So did everyone get that one? Breaking Down Security. Okay, what was the other one?
Risky Business.
Risky Business. So I see all you guys writing down. Just make sure you guys do them all. Perfect, that's it. Good. Thank you so much, guys.
Just before we move on to the second one, I don't know if you guys remember last year we had